This month's Global Volunteer teaches public health nursing at a local community college. Lori Wedeking lives in St. Paul, but her passion seems to be in Poland. She joins us now to tell us why she's been volunteering and traveled to Poland 4 times now to teach students. Thanks for joining us today.
Thank you very much. It's a pleasure to be here.
Okay, so why do you do this? You teach students conversational English.
That's correct, yes. I got very interested in going to Poland because originally one of my great-grandparents came from that area, so that was the first thing that sort of drew me there. And then it just turned out the first time to be very great fun, so I wanted to go back, yeah.
And as I said, you've been back 4 times.
4 times.
And you say that it has really changed a lot since you first began volunteering there.
When you go back repeatedly, you really can see the changes. And maybe the best way to say is, like the house across the road from where we stay. When I was there the first time, they told us that the man there was making a little extra income by forging nails. When I went back the next time, there was a building there for his business. When I went back last year, he was running 3 shifts doing bridge structures for construction that was going on. So it was amazing to see that kind of economic change that was going on in this
and a
area.
lot of that since it formed the European Union,
Yes.
Poland formed the European Union in
Yes.
2004.
Yes.
Tell me about this community. Why is it important for these Polish students to learn English?
Well, this is in the very far eastern part of Poland. It's a good 90 minutes away from Warsaw. And they don't have the same funding in their schools as they might in a capital city like Warsaw. But I've also learned now from some of the older students that they cannot even be admitted to some of the universities in Warsaw unless they can demonstrate proficiency in English. So that's how important English is becoming in countries in the European Union.
You said it's become a very unifying language, and
Yes.
you had explained something about a Swedish company. Tell us that story
Yes.
while we look at some more pictures of the students.
One of my first students now works in a company that is putting their legal system up on the web, and he's the code person behind on the software. And he explained to me that when they have problems with the code, which was a Swedish company, they call and they speak English because the Swedish people don't speak Polish and the Polish people don't speak English or speak Polish. So they do it all in English.
Through English, right.
Yes.
And the picture we just looked at, that was actually the cottage that you stay in while you're volunteering.
Yes, yes.
Now, what would you say that these are teenagers that you're working with? What do they think about the American way of life? What is their view?
I think what they know about us is what they see on television. So I think it's really important for the volunteers to go and to show talk much more about the way real people live as opposed to the way people live on television.
Right.
So,
and this kid, it was just a coincidence that he had this T-shirt on.
This was one of the students that came from Germany, and he walked up one morning with that T-shirt on, and I said, oh my, we've got to have a picture of this. So yes, it was a total coincidence that he showed up.
Minnesota playoff T-shirts.
Yes.
And you do crafts with some of the kids. It's just kind of another way to communicate with them, like
yes,
making dinosaurs as a picture.
Just really tried to make it fun.
Boys.
Yeah, I found these little dinosaur capsules that were easy to pack in the suitcase, and then put them in hot water, which anybody has, and then they could talk about them and they could read the directions, and it's just all different kinds of ways to introduce English to besides workbooks.
For people at home that are considering doing this type of work, doing some volunteer work across the country, what would you say is the greatest thing that you have gotten from the experience?
I think just the experience of understanding that other people have a different way of living that is just as fine and valid as the way we do, I think is about the most important thing that you get out of an experience like this.
And you get to see another part of the country, or
yes,
the world, I should say.
Yes, indeed, yes.
All right, well, Lori Wedeking, thank you so much for coming on
Thank you.
and sharing your story and your pictures of those kids in Poland. And let us know when you, after your next trip, you're going to Poland again?
I hope to, yes.
Okay.
Thank you.
Well, if you are interested in becoming a global volunteer, you can log on to globalvolunteers.org for more information. It's just that easy.